living in Las Vegas, doing what we both did, we were both performers, we get into fights about jealousy and insecurities. So Dylan and I have broken up 20 times.
I didn't touch her. I mean, I didn't.
Stupid.
Madelein.
Mira, it's over. It's over.
Look, some people just can't handle their partner being around strippers. Fair enough. But what happens when the strippers themselves can't deal with the jealousy? Well, as we're about to see, when trust issues meet G-strings, things get real messy real fast. So, let's rewind to the start and catch up with Luke and Madelein. Now, the last time we saw these two, their wedding finances were causing them tension. But when we join them today, it seems like all has now been forgiven.
He explained to me he was tired, like he had a so long flight and maybe he mistake a little bit, so I forgiven him.
Oh, okay, right. So Luke's response to questioning his fiancée about where all the missing wedding funds that he sent have gone is to, as always, back down, pander to her spoilt nature, and blame the way he was, his line of questioning, on tiredness and long flights. Honestly, questioning her about thousands of dollars of missing money isn't what I'd call a quote-unquote little mistake. But I guess, I think it's a good thing that these two are now on the same page again. For now. Let's not forget, their wedding is only 3 weeks away. So today, they're going to be doing some last-minute wedding preparation by going cake tasting.
We're going to have a funny and cute day night, and we can put all the fires behind us.
You are you? That's great, Madeleine. Hold on to that thought, because I've got a feeling things are going to change very, very quickly. Now, isn't it interesting that despite spending so much money on this wedding already, they don't have a cake sorted yet? Let me guess, she's going to go for the most expensive option and expect Luke to pay for it again, right? Well, at first, everything starts off pretty well. There's a romantic vibe. The cake is good. So good, in fact. Madeleine wants it all to herself. She doesn't want to share it with even her wedding guests.
This is something like I don't want to share. It's delicious.
Aw, you're so cute.
Sometimes.
Look, we know she thinks she's the queen and everyone else is just here to serve her, but doesn't that defy the whole purpose of a wedding cake if she's just going to eat it all herself? Now, for whatever reason, and I really do think Luke needs his head tested, he sees her diva behaviour, albeit a joke, but I'm sure tinged with some truth, as somehow being sweet. And while this side of them does take some getting used to, I mean, we're way more comfortable with them fighting than being sweet with one another. This is a positive development. I mean, this is how you should be with each other just weeks out from your wedding.
I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you.
Do one more. You know I love you so much.
Again, hold on to that thought because it's not going to last long. Now, sensing that his fiancée is finally in a good mood for once, Luke, I guess, wants to restore the status quo. That must be it. He must look at her and think something's up. I need to get her angry again. Because what he does next makes no sense at all. In a really nervous kind of way, a way that immediately gets Madeleine's spider senses tingling, he begins to come clean about something that's clearly been playing on his conscience.
Remember when I had said I was going to David's house?
The weekend you don't respond to me.
Luke, my man, honesty is always the best policy and all, but this really isn't the time or place. Now, remember, Luke had gone over to his friend's house to say goodbye, but unbeknown to him, his friends had organised a bachelor party for him, complete with a stripper. Luke knew that this was a bad idea. He even said at the time that Madeleine was going to be very angry with this. But instead of making his excuses and leaving, peer pressure or curiosity won, and now he feels he needs to come clean.
Basically, like, they threw like a small little bachelor party for me.
A small little? And what is a bachelor party for you? What the do you do?
Clarify say what you mean by small little bachelor party, an increasingly angry Madeleine snaps. What did you get up to, Luke? She asks, and it's at this point Luke admits there was a stripper there. You've got to believe me, he says, I didn't know she'd be there. My friends hired her. But that does very, very little to appease Madeleine. She wants to know exactly what he got up to with that stripper.
I didn't do anything. I just...
She dancing from you?
Yeah. The stripper did the stripper stuff.
Sorry, but I don't think saying that the stripper did stripper stuff is quite gonna cut it, Luke. Like, it's very clear he's not only being evasive, but he's also trying to downplay it. But Madeleine wants specifics. You knew I didn't want you going anywhere near a stripper, she says. And as she's saying this, as the reality of the revelation she's just learnt becomes more and more clear, Madeleine starts to get angrier and angrier. That anger is soon about to explode. But first, she wants to know whether or not Luke touched the stripper.
I didn't touch her. I mean, I didn't...
Think I stupid.
And there she goes. It was only ever going to be a matter of time, wasn't it? For as delicious as the cake may have been when they tried it, I don't think Luke wanted to actually end up wearing it. Like, the poor guy is totally covered in it. This, I think, is worse than when Angela did the same to Michael, or when Kim slapped a milkshake into Usman's face. It's literally everywhere. Now, Madeleine is so angry that she doesn't even want to hang around. She storms off. She goes to her car, leaving Luke to deal with the mess. And it's immediately clear Luke really didn't expect it to go that badly.
I didn't think that would happen.
What the are you going to do right now?
He might not have seen it coming, but I'm pretty sure the rest of us did. The guy has known Madeleine for years. How could he not predict that with a big cake in front of her, this is exactly how an angry Madeleine was going to react? Like, what was he expecting? A cool, calm conversation? I don't think so. But regardless, Luke maintains that none of this was my fault.
I didn't plan the bachelor party. I didn't know about it. I didn't order the stripper. I was just there.
Yeah, fine, but you could have also left, Luke. Even as the party was happening, he said that Madeleine wouldn't be happy. Like, if he respected her feelings, he could and he should have left. The option was there. Now, don't get me wrong, her reaction is also completely over the top, right? But Luke, acting as if he was completely innocent, also doesn't fly. The truth is, for as angry and devastated as Madeleine is right now, nothing that Luke could possibly say is gonna make this okay.
This is too much.
Did you just catch that? That was her engagement ring that she just chucked. I really hope for Luke's sake that ring, which we all know no doubt is an expensive one, landed in the car and not the street. Like, I bet you anything you like, if, and it's a big if the wedding does go ahead and if the ring is now lost, Madeleine's gonna expect Luke to replace it with probably a bigger and better ring. Thing is, right now, that's the least of Luke's worries.
You know who I am. You know which one is my limits.
Sorry.
Go get married with the stripper.
I mean, she does have a point. They have been together for years, and he does, or he should, know her by now. If this was that important for her, if this was her firm boundary, he really should have known better than to cross it. He should have respected the woman he claims to love more than to do that to her. But putting my tinfoil hat on here, it's also a great way for him to be able to back out of a marriage that perhaps he's not all that sure about. Whatever the truth, one thing right now is for sure. That wedding, the wedding that he's ploughed all the money into, doesn't look like it's going ahead.
Madeleine.
Mira, it's over. It's over.
And with that, Madeleine leaves him on the side of the road and drives off. I sure hope it's not too late to get refunds on all the wedding stuff, because he's going to need all the money that he can get to buy a present big enough to get him out of this one. Now, this gives us the perfect opportunity to catch up with a new couple that joined the show this week, and these guys might just be able to give us the other side of the equation. Meet 50 58-year-old Pattiya from Dallas, Texas.
I don't consider myself a stripper. I consider myself an exotic dancer. I started in this industry back in 1989 when I was like 21 years old.
Pattiya says that she still loves dancing even after all those years. It makes her feel youthful, she says. And that's probably a good thing since the guy that she's dating is 20 years younger than her. Now, for as much as she might like to be an exotic dancer, she is letting go of the stripper pole to join Dylan in Australia.
G'day, I'm Dylan. I'm 38 years old and I live in Launceston, Tasmania. There we go. No more leaks.
Is it just me, or does this guy really remind you of one of those Ken dolls? It took me a second. I had to do a bit of work to hunt this down, but this is the exact doll that my little sister used to constantly play with. Just me, or has Dylan literally modelled himself off this? Even the hair looks the same. Now, Dylan tells us that he's a plumber by trade, but he also has a rather more adventurous side gig that he does in the evenings.
But I'm also the only male stripper in Launceston. Growing up, I wanted to be on stage, but when I was doing the singing, songwriting, like nobody cared.
Tomato, tomato. She calls it an exotic dancer, he calls it a stripper. Yeah, I mean, two exotic dancers or strippers in a relationship, what could possibly go wrong? As it turns out, a lot. Now, we'll get to that very soon, but we're told that Dylan and Pattiya actually know each other very well. Like, very, very well. Turns out they've been together for 12 years.
Dylan and I lived together in Las Vegas for about 7 years. He had to move back to Australia due to visa stuff. Shortly after that, I moved back to Texas and we've been doing the long distance.
They've been in a relationship, they've lived together, so this should be smooth sailing, right? Well, no, not necessarily. You see, it turns out this isn't the first time that Pattiya has given up everything and moved her life to be with Dylan. And unfortunately, the last time she did that, it didn't go too well.
4 years ago, Dylan and I moved to Thailand for about a year. And things did not go as I planned. We were fighting constantly and it was not working.
It ended up with them breaking up and Pattiya moving back home to Texas. Now, the problem is, these two don't seem to be able to stay away from each other. So now that they're back together again, she's going to try and do it all over again. Now, predictably, her family don't think that this is a good idea. They're worried. Like, her nephew, who she tells us she loves dearly, comes over to Aunt Pattiya's apartment to try and talk her out of this.
Living in Las Vegas, doing what we both did, we were both performers, we get into fights about jealousy and insecurities. So Dylan and I have broken up 20 times.
20 times? I don't know if she's saying that for dramatic effect and just exaggerating slightly, but if that is indeed the tally, gosh, that's a lot. That's a lot of ups and downs that they've experienced. Like, if by her own admission, jealousy is a big issue, how's she going to manage that when she moves over to Australia and he's dancing but she isn't? She won't be able to work. How will she manage that jealousy and those insecurities? Surely it will only make things worse, the fact that she's on the other side of the world and has given up everything to be there. Now, keep in mind, the pair of them aren't engaged, or should I say, they're not engaged anymore.
He did propose to me in Vegas.
Okay.
3 years after we were together, but he ended up taking the ring back because, you know, he wasn't ready at the time.
Are you kidding me right now?
Wow, this just gets better and better. Now, Pattiya does try to defend him. She says that was 9 years ago and he was young. He's way more mature now. He's way more ready to get married now. But I've got to say, I'll believe it when I see it, Pattiya. Now, she doesn't completely have her head in the clouds. She is fully aware that she's taking a big risk here. And in fact, the thought of her taking this risk and it not working out has her in tears. This, she says, is my last roll of the dice.
I have to make sure that this is a final time. I'm not going to keep the breakup, the makeup, the breakup, makeup going for the rest of my life. I mean, I'm 58.
She wants to settle down with the man that she clearly deeply loves, right? But for as much as I truly hope that I'm wrong here, I have a feeling this might be a disaster waiting to happen. What's that famous saying? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Yeah, who knows? Maybe 21st time's the charm.